What if paying yourself a consistent salary was the key to ending the cash flow chaos in your firm? Welcome to the Lawyer Millionaire Podcast. I'm your host, Darren Wirtz. Does your income fluctuate wildly depending on when cases settle or when clients pay? You're not alone. Irregular cash flow is one of the biggest stressors for law firm owners, leading to sleepless nights, tough conversations at home, and reactive business decisions. The good news is you can stabilize your personal finances with one simple habit. And we're going to talk about that today, paying yourself consistently. And we have a special guest joining me today on this great conversation, and that is Charlie Mann. He's the founder of law firm Alchemy and a coach to law firm owners nationwide. All right, we're here with Charlie Mann, the man. All right, welcome to the show, Charlie.
We're starting off hot with a last name pun. My goodness, Darren.
Absolutely. Why not? So,
Absolutely.
I've been watching your content on LinkedIn for some time, and we finally had a chance to connect, which is really, really great. You work with law firm owners, a coach, helping them with their businesses. We're on mostly the financial planning side, helping them grow the wealth outside of the business as well. And lately we're doing a series on cash flow. And cash is king, as they say. So many law firm owners do struggle so much with cash flow. Can you tell us a little bit about what you see and what your experience has been with that?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. I was just writing about some of this recently for a membership newsletter. And the discussion I was having via print was that when people manage their money, when they start looking at their money, there's a big question that they often will end up asking, which is, where did all the money go? Right? And this is oftentimes a misunderstanding of things like timing, of the difference. Like you and I could speak about the difference of cash-based versus accrual accounting and how that can be helpful in different types of practice areas. It's the weird cash flow issues that you experience in a PI firm where you bring in the work today, you don't realize the money for it later, but you still have to pay for the staff to get the result taken care of today. It could be criminal defense firms where they bring in the money up front, but the case may take a while and they don't really realize, oh, I'm actually bleeding cash little by little. Like my hourly value on this case goes down because I am constantly trying to extend it. The criminal defense attorney may say, oh yeah, we're pushing it out because it's good for the negotiation for the client. And that is not always the case. So there's a lot of things that happen in law firms and make those assumptions and take historical data and project and do so confidently. I'm curious, does that vibe with what you see?
The other thing that we're talking a lot about in this series is the lumpiness of cash flow and the irregularity of it. And how do we, fix that problem? One of the things that we really advocate for is paying yourself a consistent salary. Do you agree with that? What do you see as a best practice?
What I like is the word consistent in there, and consistent could be consistent salary. Maybe you're trying to be aggressive with your S corp, right? And so your salary is not huge, which means we still need to look at having a regular quarterly draw that comes out, because if you are taking money out of the practice, that affects the home front, right? And that creates stress. Like cash flow is, as much as a financial tool, it's an emotional tool. And Darren, when I talk about clients about the money thing, I see money as enabling proper executive decision making. If you are stressed about your money, you will not make good decisions. You will be very reactive. Like it hurts when you don't have money, and you can start flailing and make the problem significantly worse.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. Let me ask you a controversial question, Charlie.
Sweet.
How about if we are experiencing some challenges with profitability? Let's say we have pushback from, we have a client and we're like, you need to start paying yourself a salary, a fixed amount, whether that's salary or draw, a fixed amount every single month. But there's a shortfall in the business, or maybe they're profitable and then there's a shortfall. Should they make changes? Should they adjust? What's your take?
Wow, really good question. So I would lean on, the first thing I would want to see historical data to see if this is something that occurs regularly and we failed to plan properly. But historically, we know that late Q3 actually gets better. So while we may run the operating account thin, we have every statistical reason to believe that it will replenish by early Q4. I know no one wants to do that, but if you've been paying yourself a healthy amount, I think I'll say I have never personally had to dip back in to personal finances in either one of my businesses to pay for payroll. Yeah, at some point you do have to realistically say, in my opinion, I need to lower my salary.
100%. Yeah. And we're going to be diving into Profit First in more detail on this series a little bit later. So thank you for mentioning that. Charlie, we're coming close to the end of our time here, but I have a few last questions for you. I want to throw one at you here. So this is a fun question. We'll do our money myth buster. Okay.
Cool.
So think back over your career, your business, your life. Was there something that you believed about money when you were younger that now that you're older, you kind of see differently?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit controversial.
Let's see what it is.
And I've never talked about this before in any other place. I am not a huge fan of the primary retirement account options. For their tax benefits, I'm fine with it. But to me, the mythology that has been sold is that all you have to do is tuck money away in an IRA, traditional or Roth, or a 401k, and you'll be set for life. To me, in terms of velocity of money and how it grows, I feel like I'm loaning that money to large corporations to make money off of me while I wait to enjoy my money when I'm 65. So I am a more active and aggressive investor, and my money works harder for me. I like money, and I like money's velocity. I don't worship money by any means. I like it as a tool, and I like it as a game in many ways. And so I am more actively invested than your average individual.
We have great respect for that. And that's exactly why we created the model that we have, which is much different than the traditional financial advisory relationship. I mean, most financial advisors, really, they're trying to get a larger portion of your portfolio so they can manage it. We don't care where your money goes. We just want to help you make the best decision for you.
And by the way, I should say, what I don't look to do is I'm not interested in like a Roth IRA, putting money into a Vanguard, 6%, 7% every year. I'm a big fan of financial advisors overall. And I appreciate that you have a fixed fee model.
Well, I'm a big fan of Vanguard too. So
that's okay. Again, I'm such a, everything is in Gisak Alakis, he's a digital marketer who I really respect. He and I are so guilty of giving the answer of it depends.
Yeah. Yeah. The question I often ask law firm owners is, wouldn't it be great if you could wake up tomorrow and just say, heck with it, throw your keys on the desk and walk out the door and just be done, because you've got enough passive income coming in from a portfolio of some kind. So for some law firm owners, that is an ideal that they want to aspire to have that sense of confidence that I could just walk away and I would be just fine. And that's what we try to help them get to that point in their lives.
And most of my family members are people who are invested with Vanguard, right? Like they have funds, they have all that stuff. My money philosophy for me, and I don't believe it's right for everyone. Goodness gracious, it's not right for everyone. As a matter of fact, I know people personally who I would never share with them what I actually do because they would mess with it and turn it into a gambling addiction, essentially. And that's not what I'm doing at all. I won't talk the specifics. It's like you need your estate planning attorney, you need your financial advisor. Sometimes you need to just pay for a financial planning strategy session. Go and do that.
Yeah. And pay yourself a consistent salary.
Yeah, that's nice too.
Charlie, one more question for you here. On the topic of books, I know you've read quite a few books. Is there anything, what are you reading right now? Tell us about that.
Okay, so what I'm reading right now, and I'm looking over at my bookshelf because it'll give me the clue. Oh, right here. Let me actually pull it up right here.
All right.
I don't know. So this, and I've been going through this little by little. It's the 38 letters from J.D. Rockefeller to his son. This has been, this is really interesting. There was some time ago, someone advised me to, Dan Kennedy advised that you should read shareholder letters from Amazon and Warren Buffett and those other spaces.
Interesting.
So I've really enjoyed reading a lot of those and getting insights. So when I saw that there was this collection of letters, I mean, they're not shareholder letters, they're to his son from J.D. Rockefeller, and some of them are like about dressing well, basically. I'm working my way through a reread of American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I always like to have something on my table.
Nice.
And then I'm also parsing back through, and I've got it right over here. It's very well tabbed, so you can tell it'll be a second read, my copy of Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. And I'm going back through to lock some of the stories and everything into my brain.
We'll put that, and we'll put Charlie's reads in the show notes for you guys so you can check those out. Actually, before we go, why don't you tell our audience a little bit just about your backstory and what you do?
Sure. So, for the past 15 plus years, I have worked in, on, for, and with law firms, and I absolutely love to do it.
All right. Great stuff, Charlie. Well, thanks again for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine, Darren. The first time that you and I had an opportunity to speak, I was like, I really like this guy. And immediately after, started bringing up your name in conversations as people talk about money. So I appreciate everything that you're doing for the lawyer community.
Thank you so much. All right. A huge thanks to Charlie Mann for joining us today. Connect with Charlie at Law Firm Alchemy or find his newsletter company, Red Kraken Creative. We've linked his sites and socials in the show notes for you. My challenge to you today is this. Pick a fixed monthly salary or a scheduled draw and start that this month for yourself and treat it like payroll. If you're not running payroll, give yourself that predictable, regular income flowing into your personal accounts. You will thank me for it. Consistent personal income is the bridge from unpredictable firm cash flow to predictable wealth building. When your paycheck is steady, you make clearer decisions. You reduce stress at home, and you're finally able to start investing beyond your practice. And that's exactly what we help law firm owners do every single day. We've put together a simple guide on paying yourself as a law firm owner. You can check that out in the show notes. And if you're not yet in our free book club, you need to be. It's a great way to connect with other ambitious law firm owners and read some great books. And as I mentioned in the show, that next book coming up, that's going to be A Random Walk Down Wall Street by Burton Malkiel. It's a classic, and you owe it to yourself as an investor, as a business person, to learn more about the investing world. It's really going to help you. So I'm super excited to dive in with you, and we'll be talking more about that on the show. But stay tuned for next time. We'll be diving into the next segment in our series on cash flow. All right, friends. Well, who is the Lawyer Millionaire? It's you, my friend. That's right. So go out there and own it and live it. I'm your host, Darren Wirtz. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.